and welcome to this session on observability in a highly competitive market. Now, today, every company is a software company, every business is a digital business. And as we move towards a digital economy, customers expect a seamless experience each time they engage with you. Customer loyalty is precarious at best. It is important for businesses today to keep their customers engaged for improving brand loyalty and better customer retention. My guest today will share insights on how to measure the interactions with your customers and have your across all your digital assets. I'm pleased to welcome Mr. Ben Goodman, Senior Vice President Asia for New Relic. Good evening, Ben. How are you?
Good evening, everyone. How are you? Great to see you.
Good, Ben. Thank you. Good to see you. Ben, observability is a new term, and New Relic is leading into the market as an observability platform. So, my first question is, what is observability, and why is it relevant for organizations in India?
Fantastic question, Varun. I think to understand observability, we need to kind of understand the evolution over the last couple of years. It's really been accelerated by COVID. If we think about the tradition of the IT industry, a lot of companies built IT platforms to sit behind their people, between them and their customers. So many of these IT systems were contained within a company, and salespeople and advocates would represent them out to the community. And over the last couple of years, as we've seen growth in the digital natives, we've seen more organizations move through digital channels as a method of engagement. A lot of these applications have directly started to interact with the customer base. That human layer between an organization and their customers is now quickly disappearing. And we saw this massively change during COVID when almost every organization, depending on whether you're a digital native or a bricks and mortar, was really forced to drive their digital journeys directly to their customer base. And if you think about this evolution, with that change from sitting in an organization to being directly customer facing, there was a need to change the way we looked at application experience. In a prior life, we looked at things like application performance management and monitoring as a method to understand how an application or a service was operating within an organization. And observability is really that shift to a customer-centric lens. It's shifting understanding how an organization's applications work in the context of their customers. Understanding the actual experience an organization's customer has, whether it be a payment gateway, whether it be a banking platform. How do I put the lens on for my customer and understand how my services are making them feel about the products they're buying from me or leveraging? And that's as applicable as it is in traditional banking, manufacturing, digital native, and government. What's true is that everyone needs to understand their customer experience better through digital channels. And observability is really providing that customer lens back into an organization. And to the second half of your question, if you think about the population of India, the 1.4 billion people within the country today, and also the fact that India is one of the greatest communities globally in terms of net exporting of talent and supporting global organizations, the ability to provide better insight into that customer experience is going to help more organizations in India grow faster. It's going to be the foundation for many new startups successfully exiting the startup phase and moving to being mainstream companies. It's going to help those organizations looking to grow in India better understand their customers and better personalized products and technologies. So I see observability as being a really big area to obviously help organizations get more intimate with their customers, but more specifically within India, increase the relevance of the skills and talent in India to the rest of the globe, as more organizations around the world are faced with the same challenges and opportunities. So I think it's going to be a really big theme and growth area for India over the next couple of years.
I agree with you, Ben. India is undergoing a massive digital transformation, and with the government, with its Digital India initiative, and with COVID accelerating the digital transformation for many of the traditional enterprises, we are seeing a massive transformation across different enterprises and businesses, and even government sector towards digitization. So, observability definitely makes sense in a way that it gives better insights for all the organizations when it comes to their customer interactions. Any examples that you would want to cite of organizations in India that are using an observability platform like New Relic? and how does it help Indian firms to grow both domestically as well as internationally?
Absolutely. I think probably the best example doesn't actually come from the commercial sector of India, but it's probably most applicable in the government. So work with the India government about the recently released COVID app with Yoga Setu to basically pick up the challenge that was created by COVID. And I think the origin of this was around the Holi season, when a lot of the transportation companies and logistics and airlines recognized that COVID would start to impact a lot of people across India. There was a great collaboration between people like Make My Trip and GoBibo and the Indian government around how do we make transportation and travel safe during that holiday season as we were learning about COVID. And where New Relic partnered with the Indian government was really around radically accelerating how quickly a safe distancing and tracing application could be developed, released to the Indian population, and as it was growing and developing, continuously enhanced. And if you think from start to finish, that application was developed and released to the public in India within a 15-day period. So a great example of collaboration between the government and commercial sector, a great challenge to bring it to market quickly, but more importantly, to scale it incredibly quickly. That application today has got over 100 million Indian nationals who are subscribed to it, using it to do their safe tracing. That was about 7 million early on. So you think of the scale at which the application's grown, the number of iterations, the availability that it needs, but also ensuring that at all points in time, data privacy and the protection of the citizens who are using applications front of mind. New Relic was very instrumental in that journey, in not just providing the platform to help develop the application, but having that continuous customer feedback to make sure it was continuously enhanced and improved every time it's released. And I think that's just one great application that we see in the public sector being replicated with many other organizations, whether it's banks accelerating their digital journeys, whether it's travel firms looking to better inform and help their customers travel more safely, and many other applications. And I think that's really the crux of how it helps organizations in India to grow, and both domestically and internationally. The ability to understand your customer, rapidly take feedback through better telemetry, give that to your development organization to make better decisions around how to release code faster and develop your applications more quickly. And then, given obviously the commercial considerations where a lot of firms are under financial pressure, ensuring you use that insight to scale your public cloud or private cloud operations as efficiently as you can, so that you can scale with your customer base as you grow, but not waste resource through that process where it can be optimized. That mix is going to help organizations both grow to meet the scale of India, but also the scale outside of India for many organizations that are leveraging the great technology prowess that India is creating to really grow. And so I think that for me is probably the best application of observability in motion in India, and can really underpin all the growth that we expect to see coming out of the Indian market.
That's great to know, Ben. So what you're saying is that the observability platform does not just help the business users to look at the customer interactions and increase the top line, but also help the developers and the engineers in the back end to basically optimize the efficiencies on the cloud usability and the cloud costs as well. So that's really great. So how does New Relic, what is it that New Relic does that helps customers to achieve meaningful observability?
Absolutely. So at the core of what New Relic does is probably three simple principles. Number one is we've invested heavily in an open telemetry platform. We want to enable organizations to collect as much data and insight as they can in one of the most cost-effective platforms in the market. Because when an organization has lots of data that they can collect from customer experiences, internal experiences, they're better placed to make decisions to enhance their applications and enhance their overall brand and the impact of their organization. So creating a platform that allows ingestion of all telemetry to really break down silos that exist within organizations today, whether it's metrics, events, traces, or logs in a single platform, ultimately arms developers and business owners with more insight around what they need to do to continuously innovate and better serve their customers. At the same time, one of the things that we saw as being a big barrier to organizations growing was the commercial implications of trying to instrument many technologies. And so recently, with the release of New Relic 1, what we've done is we've removed that barrier and looked at how do I empower my developers with all the agents, all the tools they need to be really effective and really productive. What we've worked out is that when developers are able to scale their instrumentation infinitely, so they can go and collect the insight and make the changes they need, not only are they more productive in terms of the applications and services they produce, but they've got a lot more flexibility to be innovative at work. And that obviously leads to great talent development and talent retention. And then finally, we see a lot of progress around AI, particularly around insights and AI ops in terms of automating a lot of the process around resolution and issue detection. New Relic's invested heavily in these areas because we believe these will be the 3 pillars of how observability will grow. And ultimately, when observability is implemented well in organizations, there are kind of 4 key tenets that we see it impacting. Number 1 is helping organizations to make more money, ultimately helping conversion rates, reducing abandoned cart rates, and helping to drive more footfall and traffic to people's websites or mobile applications is something we see as being a big benefit when you understand your customer better. Through better insight, we can help organizations really save money through optimization of cloud technologies and other technologies that sit on their books and can scale both at a technical level, but also at a cost level. We see a lot of organizations focus on risk. In the heavily digital world now, downtime costs money. And so anything we can do to either avoid downtime or respond and repair it much faster is ultimately going to reduce risk for organizations. And finally is talent attraction, talent development. India's got some of the greatest talent in the world when it comes to the developer community and innovative minds. How do organizations give their talent and developers the best tools to operate within to allow them to be as effective as they can be? If you look at the talent community in India today, there's a lot of pride in the work that people produce. We want to enable people to produce the best work and therefore help organizations to retain and develop their talent as they grow within India. And those are really the principles of how New Relic is helping organizations to navigate the opportunity that comes with observability.
That's great, Ben. So how do we start? How do organizations start on this journey of observability? In the audience, we have organizations that are building their own digital products, as well as you mentioned, there's a community of organizations and developers which is building digital products for their end customers and could be partners for New Relic for observability. So how do we start? How can organizations start on this journey?
Absolutely. So I think it's first important to recognize that observability involves a very big ecosystem to really be effective in an organization. And if you think about the partner community out there, whether it's partners that have deep skills around cloud migration, cloud management, cloud optimization, whether it's partners that have deep skills around development best practices, agile methodologies, and other organizations that are really focused on digital experience, that partner community helping to better understand a customer's application ecosystem and help to deploy observability pervasively across the entire stack is critical. So I see a very big opportunity for both the ASEAN partner community in India to impact customers in India and outside of India in a huge extent about observability. So partnering and building out that ecosystem is key. And obviously BlazeClan's been a partner of New Relic for many years and helped many of our customers on that journey in terms of their cloud migrations to really accelerate the benefits they can realize around that. I think the second is recognizing that observability is not an end state. It's a continuously evolving platform. As organizations evolve, they'll add in new services, they'll acquire new companies. So observability has to start somewhere. And what we typically see is organizations picking up a use case. Some may start with the use case around accelerating cloud migration. Others may start with the use case around how do I reduce the number of abandoned carts I have on my e-commerce site. Starting with observability around a use case, testing it, proving it out within the organization, and then once you have the methodology defined, scaling it over the years and months is a best practice in terms of doing it. We have seen some organizations walk in and want to deploy observability across their entire enterprise from day one. We've seen others who have started with us, as I said, on one specific use case, and over time looked at tools consolidation and scaling as their business grew. So we can start small, we can start large, But I think the principle is around you need a good understanding of your application ecosystem. You need a really good SI community that understands those applications in depth and how to get the insight and get the telemetry moving. And that is really the foundation for successful observability.
All right, thank you, Ben. So this was really insightful. I personally am a big fan of New Relic, and I've seen customers starting from a lot of uh, startups as well as many of the unicorns in India and enterprises using the platform. And it definitely has value in terms of increasing the customer retention and helping customers improve their top line as well as save a lot of cost when it comes to the cloud usability and cloud efficiencies. So definitely a very good platform, and I'm sure many in the audience would have found this insights really useful. Thank you, Ben, for your time. I really appreciate you taking time late in the evening for you in sharing your thoughts with us today. And I appreciate your partnership with BlazeClan, and of course, appreciate your support to the NASCOM International SME Conclave. Thank you, Ben. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Varun, and great to be part of the conclave. And everyone, please stay safe and healthy in India. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ben. Thank you, everyone in the audience, for attending this session. This was the last session for the day on stage 2. All the other sessions will continue on stage 1. And I want to thank you all on behalf of NASCOM and the NASCOM SME Council for your support to NISC 2020. And I hope these sessions were value for your time. And I hope everybody of you had something or the other to learn today. Thank you very much. Have a great evening.